Hi, and Guten Erev Shabbos. That's become my classic way of saying hello. On a Friday, I always bring in the style of my dear late mother-in-law, who passed away a few years ago, and that's how she used to greet people when she answered the phone was Guten Erev Shabbos. It wasn't just a hello. Today is Erev Shabbos. We're very close to Shabbat. Thank you for joining us.tv. Gives me great honor, Rabbi Lou from Stanmore, to be the chosen one for this week. Just before we get started, in the one that I do with my own community with Stanmore on Zoom, I tried to sound the shofar because it's the month of Elul, and in the month of Elul there is a tradition to sound the shofar on the weekdays so that it would be an opportunity, a little bit like an alarm clock, just a reminder that we're edging closer and closer to Rosh Hashanah, 2 weeks away from tonight. So we sound the shofar. Now on the Zoom, I blew it. I felt good, but everyone said, Rabbi, it didn't come through. I discovered afterwards that it has certain pitches and certain sounds, certain high volume sounds just don't come through. But before I came onto US TV, I went over with the producer to see if it would be picked up by this program, and it seems that it will. So if you just give me a second, I'll go get my shofar. And the tradition in Elul is to sound just, there are different types of traditions, but the minimum is 4 sounds. The long sound, the one which has 3. Now it's not really 3, it's 3 and drops. It's different. There's about 4 or 5 different ways to sound it. Then the mini sounds that most people can tell you has to be at least 9. You can go as long as you want. And then the flat sound afterwards. All of those together is considered 4 sounds, even though it sounds like there's more because of the bim, for example. That's actually 1 sound. Interestingly, you can't take a breath in the middle. If you do, it is a different sound. There's very, very complex rules when you sound the shofar, not on Elul, but on Rosh Hashanah. There is a sounding of the shofar before Musaf, and it has certain rules which are different from the rules of when you sound the shofar the rest of the prayers during Musaf itself. And one of the major ones is when you take that moment to breathe. You have to breathe when you sound the shofar. Otherwise, you'll run out of steam and it won't come out. But there is an obligation to make that breathe in order to differentiate between one sound and another. And I can tell you, since I've been sounding the shofar for many decades, that you don't always want to take your mouth away from the shofar because you find your sweet spot. The shofar is an interesting instrument. It's from a ram, as I'm sure we know. It doesn't grow like this. It's bent with very, very hot water. It's made into shape, and then it's drilled in the middle to get the sound. So because it's been touched around, the sound can travel either very smoothly or very complicated, and yet you just find that right spot and you keep shifting it if necessary. And you don't really want to take, but according to Jewish law, despite having found that sweet spot, you sometimes have to shift. You have to take that breath, and either you will discover that sweet spot or you'll find a new one. It's never too late. So let's go. Again, sounds of Elul, the sounds of awakening. The sounds of Rosh Hashanah are partly awakening and partly the coronation of God. But let me just talk about the Sedra this week of Tavo before we get to the prayers itself. So Tavo, as I was just discussing with my own community, is about Bikurim, about bringing the best of what we have and giving it to God. But I want to talk about something else, because as you move to in the middle of the Sedra, there's a very long call-up. It's the 6th call-up, and different shuls have different traditions who should pick up that call-up. The reason they have to think about that call-up is that there are many sentences of rebuke, very harsh and sharp words. And it's felt that if you call someone up, It's almost like wishing it on him, on that person. So the tradition, that's either the person who's laning, maybe the rabbi should take it because, for the rabbi, I also happen to be the one who's going to be laning tomorrow. We know it's a beautiful call up and it's not personal. This is the words of God. It's a very, very strong words, but it's a call up. It's a very long one. Normally it's done in a slightly lower tone. So the person who's laning has his key and his tone, also a lot of breathing. But for this one, he'll drop an octave, just to kind of express that this is not the happiest reading that he is experiencing. Plus, he'll go a little bit quicker. I've heard people go so fast that you can't actually hear the words. That's not allowed. It's got to be a bit quicker, but you've still got to be able to hear every word clearly and melodiously. Now, obviously, there are two places in the Torah. One is in the book of Leviticus in the Sedra of Bechukotai, and the other one, the longer one, is in this week's Sedra of Tavo. So I want to share with you two thoughts. One of them is a story that took place about 250, 280 years ago. And there was a young man. His name was Dov Ber. He was 12. He eventually would become the second Chabad Rebbe. But he was 12. Now, his father, the first Chabad Rebbe, was one of the supreme gifted laners. He laned the Torah and it was beautiful. Now, on this week of Tavo, on that particular year, for whatever reason, he did not lane, and someone else came up to lane. And the young man hears all these verses, and he's troubled, and he's so disturbed by the threats and the sternness of the words that he promptly faints. And not only did he faint, he became very ill. And he was 12. His bar mitzvah was 2 months later, and there was a worry that he wouldn't recover in time. That's how ill he became from hearing these words. So, and they asked him, what happened? He said, did you hear what was being read? They said, yeah. They said, but what about last year? What about the year before? You didn't hear it read then as well. So he said in Yiddish, when the Tata leint, hört sich nicht kein Klolis, which means when my father, the first Rebbe, when he lanes the Torah, it doesn't sound like curses. In other words, what he was saying is a very powerful thought, which is that God doesn't bring curses. God doesn't have negativity. There's no such thing as evil by God. It's just that somehow or another, as it makes its way through the channeling of the pathways from God to the world, by the time it gets to us, it doesn't feel good. Perhaps I don't want to sound too flippant. It's a very serious idea, which is why do bad things happen to good people, etc. So I'm not here to philosophize on that. On another opportunity, we can give a whole class about it. But in very briefly, the reason God visits things on a world, on people, is actually for their benefit. Right then, they might not appreciate it, but hopefully they will, like the shofar, it's a kind of a wake-up call. Says, maybe you can touch up a little bit more, improve your life. That's what life is about. Every day is an opportunity. It makes no difference how young a person is, how old a person is. Every day is a different opportunity to do something better. We don't know why things happen. That's the key thing. But one thing's for sure, whatever's happening is difficult, but at the same time, it comes from a source of love. That's what we know. And that's what this rabbi was trying to say at the age of 12. He was saying, I didn't hear it that way. I heard the words, but it sounded different. When I read it, trust me, I'm not in that level. I can feel that sort of the pain of those verses, but I also know as a believing Jew that God is the essence of love, and that everything that happens, I don't understand. I put up my hands and I say, I don't understand. But one thing I do appreciate is that he's the God of love. But there's one other thing. It talks about why some of these things would happen. And everyone will find there, this is why. There's one very straightforward verse, and it says, this happens because you don't serve God with joy. Amazing. You didn't serve God with joy. You kvetched. We're not talking about people who don't observe. It's about people who do observe, who are doing the mitzvahs, who are enjoying Shabbat, who are enjoying prayer, who love their kosher food. But sometimes they do it with a bit of a, only this. Why do I have to pray so long? Why do I have to keep the whole Shabbat? Why can't I eat what I want? Why can't all these different things trouble them? They don't serve God with joy. They serve him, but they don't do so recognizing it's a relationship. And in relationships, we'll do whatever it takes with love. It's always with love, always with joy. And God says, don't do me no favors. If you're going to do a mitzvah, do it because you love to do it. Because we're in this fantastic relationship. I'm going to give you everything you need. The air you breathe, the opportunity to live, the opportunity to see lots of good things. All I want in return is acknowledgement. Study a little bit, do another mitzvah, do something, and do it with joy. That's the whole idea. That's what it said. That's this verse that always catches me when I'm learning this particular Seder, and have done so for over 4 decades. Whenever I come across those words, I feel a lump in my throat, thinking that's all it wants. All God wants is just a bit of attention. In our own personal lives, we have special people. And if we don't communicate with them, they're going to make us, hello, are you there? They're going to make some sort of advance to see what's happening. Or maybe we'll drift apart, God forbid. It's the same with God. God says, don't drift away from me. I love you. All I want in return is that you should love me, and that together we can do a lot of good things together. So if I could say one thing about this Seder, don't dwell so much on the pain. Just dwell on that verse. How can I serve God? With joy, with love, and enthusiasm. That's the objective. If it's not happening, keep working at it. You'll get there one day, please God, very soon. And together, you'll have everything you need with love, visible love, and in a way that even we as human beings can appreciate and give thanks. So Shabbat Shalom, it should be a wonderful Shabbat. Again, as we get closer and closer to the end of the current Jewish year, may this year, with any of its troubles, finish on a high. That means we go from the end of the year into a new year full of much greater promise, much greater enthusiasm, and from us, greater commitment to serving God with a smile and with joy and happiness in the heart, expressing itself throughout our entire personality. And now for the prayers. If you've got a Siddur, the brand new blue one, or the previous green one, we're going to start on page 256 with Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh, Avarachamon, Meshoich Avdecha, El Ritzoinecha, Yarutz Avdecha, Kemo Yahyol, Yishtachave, El Mol Hadorecha, Yerab lo Yedidei Secha, Minoi Festuf, V'chol To'am, Adonai, Ziv ha'olam, Nafshi choyelas, Ahavasecha, Ana elna, Refana la, Behara isla, Noam zibecha, Ostis chazek, Vesis rapei, V'hoyesala, Simcha seilam, Vosik yemuna, Rachamecha, V'chusana, Al beinahu v'cha, Ki ze kama nichsafti, Lirois b'seferes, Uzecha, Eilecham dalibi, V'chusana, ve'al tisalam higalena ufreis chabibi ala yes sukas shelomecha ta'ir eretz mikvaydecha nagila v'nismecha bach maher ahov ki b'moyeh v'chaneinu ki me'olam. Diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai. Diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai. Diri lai 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 lam, diri lai 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 lam, diri lai 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 lo, lai 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 lai. Diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lai, diri lai 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 lam, diri lai 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 lam. Diri lai da 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 da. On page 258. Lechu neranena ladayenoy nariya Litsui sheyenu nekadma falav b'sida b'smiras nariya loy ki el gadol Adonai melech gadol al kol Elohim asher b'yadai mechkerei oretz v'soyaf oisorim loy asher loy hayam v'hu asahu v'yabeshes yadav yatzaru boyu nishtachave b'nichra lifnecha lifnei Adonai yoseyenu ki hu Eloheinu v'anachnu am marisoi v'soy yadoi hayoimim v'koloi sishma'u al tachel v'avchem ki miriva ki yom masa b'midbar asher nisuni avesteichem b'chanuni gam ra'u fa'ali 40 shana akut b'doir v'oimar am toyei leva b'hem v'hem lo yadu derachai asher nishbaiti b'yapi im yevoyun el menuchasi lailai shiru ladayinai shiru chadash shiru ladayinai kol haaretz shiru ladayinai baruchu shemai basru miyayim liyayim Yeshua soy sapru v'goyim kavoidai b'chol ha'amim nifla isav Aiki gadol Adonai hulal meyait nayerahu al kol Elohim lailai ki kol Elohei ha'amim elilim v'Adonai shamayim asa hoid v'hadar lefad navos v'siferes b'mikdashai havul Adonai mishpachai sahamim havul Adonai kavod v'ois I havul Adonai kavod shemai seyul mincha uvayu lechatz loisav lailai ishtachavu l'Adonai b'hadras kodesh Chilo mipanav kol haaretz imru v'goyim Adonai malach afti kotevel ba'alti moit yahadinamim b'mei shaharim yismechu hashamayim v'sagen haaretz ayiram ayam Eloi Yalois Sadai Bechol Asher Boi Laila Yos Yeranenu Kolatze Yoar Lifnei Adoyenoi Kiva Lishbait Haaretz Yishbait Hevel Betzedek Yahamim Be'emunasai Lai 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 Diddy lie, 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 lie. Diddy lie, 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 lie. Diddy lie, 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 lam. Diddy lie, 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 lam. Diddy lie, 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 lam. Diddy diddy dum. Diddy diddy dum. Diddy lie, 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 lam. Diddy diddy da lie, lie, lam. Diddy lie, 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 lam. Diddy diddy dum. Diddy diddy dum. Adonai malach tagel haaretz yismechu im Rabbi mon barachos vivav tzedek mishpat mechaim kisoi eish lefonav telechus lahitzaviv sarab iru brakov tebel roasa betachel haaretz harim kadoi nagnamasu milifnei Adonai milifnei Adonai kol haaretz yigidu hashamayim tzidkei v'reuch lo amim kvoidoi yivaishu koloi b'dei fesel hamisalelim Elilim yishtachavu loikol Elohim Shama Ava tismach tzion batel gelna b'nois Yehuda Lema mishpatecha Adonai Ki atu Adonai elyon al kol haaretz Miyoid nahale Yisrael al kol Elohim Oya be'Adonai Sin ura Shoyme nafsho yischas nidav Miyad reshaim yatzilem Oy taru ala tzadik Ole yishrei lev simcha Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai V'hoyedu lezecher kodshoi mizmor shiru l'Adonai shir chadash ki nifla'is asa Hayshia lo yemina yazura yakodesh yedi Adonai Yeshua Seileini Agoyim Gilad Tzidka Sei Zachar Chastei ve'emunah Sei lebeis Yisrael Ra'u chalav Sei Oretz Eish Yeshua Seileinu Hariu l'Adonai kol Oretz Pitzchu ve'ranenu v'zameyeru Zamru l'Adonai b'chinoir v'koil zimra B'chatzai tzerois v'koil shoyafar Hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai Yiram hayom umloyoi Tevel v'yosh v'nahoroi simcha uchof Yachad harim yeraneinu Lifnei Adonai kiva Lishpoit haaretz Yishpoit tevel b'tzedek Miyamim b'meisharim Lai 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 lam lai 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 lam lai 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 lam lai 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 lam Adonai malachir gezuamim yoshev keruvim tanu ta'aretz Adonai b'tzion gadol v'ramhu al kol ha'amim yodishim chagadol v'noira kadeshu Yoiz melech mishpatoi v'ata kinanta misharim mishpat tzedakah v'yankev v'ata asisa Roimemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lahadayim raglav kadeshu Moshe v'Aharon b'choy hanav u'Shemuel b'koirei shemoy koiri mel Adonai והוא יענה ויעמוד ענן ידבר עליהם משמרו ידי סוף וחוי כנוסן אלמוי אדוני אלוהינו אתה אני שם אל נעשי היסלם ונקי מעלני אלוהי אסם רוי ממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשי כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו מזמור לדוד הבו לאדוני בני אלים הבו לאדוני כבוד באויס לילי הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו ישתחוו לאדוני בהדרס קודש כהוי לאדוני על המים אל הכבוד יראים אדוני על מים רבים כל אדוני בכויח לילי כל אדוני בהודור כל אדוני שובר ארזים וישבר אדוני אסרתי הלבוני וירקידם כמו יגל לבוני וסידיון כמוי בן רעמים לילי כהוי לאדוני חויצים רבי שש כהוי לאדוני יחיל מדבר יחיל לאדוני מהיר בקודש כהוי לאדוני יחיל אלוהיס ויחשוף יאורויס ובהיכלוי כולוי אומר כבוד לילי אדוני למבול ישב וישב אדוני מלך לעולם אדוני אויס ליעמו ייתן אדוני יברך עמי בשלום לילי 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 If you're following the Chadadi on page 266. לך הדוידי לקראת קהלה פני שבס נקבלה לך הדוידי לקראת קהלה פני שבס נקבלה שמר וזכר בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשמו לספרס ורסילה לך דוידי לקראת קהלה פני שבס נקבלה די לי 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 דדם לקראת שבס לכו בני לך Ki mekor haberacha Elai Bereish Mikedem Nesucha Soif Maaseh B'machasha B'techila Lecha Daidi Likras Kala Pnei Shabbos Lekabbalat Lai 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 La Da Dam Lai La Da Da La 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 Lai Mikdash Melech Ir Melucha Kumitzei mitay chafecha Rahab lach sheves b'yemek habacha V'hu yachamay lalayich chemla Lecha doidi likras kala P'nei Shabbos nekabela Lai 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 da da dam La da 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 la lam His na'ari meya farkumi live she big days if I techami ya ben yishai beis alachmi karva el nafshi ya Allah lecha daidi liknas kala pnei Shabbos nekabela lai 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 nadidam lai 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 la He's ready Kiva oirech kumi oiri la Ori ori shedaberi keboir Adonai alayich nigla lecha doidi likras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela lai 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 la dam da 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 Loi sevai shiva loi sikalmi matishtoi chachio matehemi boch yechesu ani yami v'nivnesa ir altila lecha doidi likras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela v'hayu limshisa shoyich v'rochaku kol mevala oyich yosis alayich Eloi hoyich kim seis chason al kala lecha doidi likras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela yamin usmohel. Let's do that again. Yamin usmohel tifroitzi ve'yasadoi taritzi al yadi yish ben parzi v'nismecha v'nagila lecha doidi likras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela Boi b'sholoi mater espailo gam besimcha ובצהלות חמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דיידי לקרס קלה פני שבוס נקבלה טינה נה 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 Shabbat Shalom. Firstly, to wish you a very hearty, beautiful Shabbos, penultimate Shabbos of the year, getting closer. Also to wish you, and I should have done right away, Ketiva V'Chatima Tova. The tradition is throughout the month of Elul, some people say even before, to wish each other to have a good inscription in God's special diary and a good seal to be signed off for a great and happy and beautiful year ahead. We should have a Shana Tova, we should have a Shabbat Tov, and please God, only good brachot. As I said, always be happy. May Hashem give you lots of reasons to be happy. A lot of bracha. Thank you for joining with me. It's been a great honor for me to spend time with you. US TV has a lot of other good programming. I noticed some good stuff for the High Holy Days as well. But in the meantime, thank you again. Have a beautiful Shabbos. Keep well.